You ever have that amazing product idea, that thing you just know is brilliant, but then this little voice in the back of your head whispers, yeah, but what if I'd build this and nobody actually wants it? It's that classic fear, right? And it stops so many great ideas dead in their tracks. Well, today, we're going to tackle that head on. We're going to de-risk the whole process with a really clear three-step validation funnel.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about a super common trap that almost everyone falls into. Then, I'll show you a better way, this funnel approach. And then we'll just walk through it, step by step, finding the signal, getting the real story, and finally, making that big go/no-go call with confidence.
Okay, so let's just dive right in. The biggest mistake, the one that can derail everything, it happens right at the very beginning.
I mean, it seems like the most logical question in the world, doesn't it? You've got an idea, maybe you even have a little mock-up, and you go ask people, hey, would you use this? But that question, it's secretly a landmine for your project. You feel like you're doing your homework, but you're actually just collecting misleading answers.
So what's really going on here? Why is that perfectly innocent-sounding question so dangerous for your idea?
And here it is. It's because people are, for the most part, nice. They don't want to hurt your feelings. So when you show them your baby, your big idea, they'll say things like, oh, that's really neat. Or, yeah, sure, I could see myself using that. But that's just them being polite. It tells you absolutely nothing about whether they have a real, burning problem that they're desperate to solve. The whole game is learning how to tell the difference between politeness and actual painful need.
Okay, so if asking, would you use this, is the trap, what's the escape plan? This brings us to a much better way to think about this.
The key here is to stop thinking about casting a wide, shallow net and start thinking about building a funnel. See, with a funnel, you start wide at the top with something really simple, like a survey, just to find the signal. You know, who out there is feeling this pain the most? And once you find them, you narrow your focus, and you go deep with interviews to uncover the real story behind that signal.
All right, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. Step 1 is all about finding that initial signal, and we're going to do that with a smart, targeted survey.
Now let's be clear, the whole point of this survey is not to get every single answer about everything. It's a sorting tool, that's it. Your only job here is to figure out two things. Who are the people you really need to be talking to, the ones with the most urgent problems, and what are the specific things they're trying to do that are most valuable to them?
These questions are your secret weapons. You obviously need their email so you can actually follow up, but the real magic is in the next few. When you ask, how do you solve this now, you get to see all their clunky workarounds and frustrations. And asking, what are your biggest unsolved challenges, that gets you straight to their unfiltered, top-of-mind pain points.
And when you ask them to score things, keep it simple. This is key. Forget those vague 1 to 5 scales. A simple 1 to 3 scale that's tied to real meaning forces a choice. A 3 isn't just important, it's a top 3 priority. See the difference? That's a way stronger signal for you to follow up on.
Okay, awesome. Your survey worked, you've got the signal, you've identified who you need to talk to. Now it's time to go deep and find the story behind all that data.
This right here, this might be the most important mindset shift in this whole entire process. Your goal in these interviews is not to sell them on your idea. It's to become the world's leading expert on their problem, their workflow, their frustrations. You have to get genuinely curious about their world. And that's exactly why the first part of the interview is dedicated only to discovering their problem. You don't even mention your solution yet. Resist the urge.
These 3 questions are absolute gold. The challenge forces them to focus on what's bugging them right now. The dream outcome lets them paint this beautiful picture of what they really want. And the consequence? Oh, this one is so crucial. It connects their problem to a real cost. Time, money, stress, which is the very thing that justifies paying for a new solution. So, only after you've really truly explored their problem, only then have you earned the right to introduce your idea. And this is where you flip the switch from listening to testing. So how do you test for real commitment? You have to ask for something real. We call this the ladder of commitment. If your idea is still super early, just ask for their time. A 30-minute feedback session is a great start. But as your concept gets more developed, you have to escalate the ask. Can you get them to commit their reputation by agreeing to champion it inside their company? Or even better, can you get them to commit money with something like a letter of intent or even a small refundable deposit? This is how you find out who's serious. So you did it. You got the signal from your survey, you got the story from your interviews.
Now for the final, critical step, turning all that raw, messy information into a clear, confident decision.
It's so true. Look, anyone can sit there and take notes. The real value, the place where the magic really happens, is when you have a structured way to find the patterns hiding inside all those notes. That's what synthesis is all about.
And you know what? The process is actually pretty straightforward. First, you just tag your notes. You're basically turning messy human language into structured data points. Then, you summarize those tags with a simple pivot table. I'm telling you, this one step makes the patterns just leap off the page. You'll instantly see which problems keep coming up over and over. And it's that clarity that lets you confidently update your plan and make the final call.
Now, this is a pretty robust process, I'll admit, and it's not something you need to do for every single little idea. Knowing when to use it is just as important as knowing how to do it.
So when should you pull out this tool? Well, you use this deep validation funnel for your big, high-stakes bets, the ideas that would cost a lot of time and money to build, or when you're exploring a completely new area. But look, if the decision is small and you can easily undo it, a simple A/B test is probably way faster. And if you already have a smoking gun, like say 50% of your users are dropping off at a certain step, well, the problem's already validated. You can jump right into figuring out how to fix it.
So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with this one simple question to carry with you. When you go out to talk to users, ask yourself, are you truly trying to test your idea and find the truth, even if it's not what you want to hear? Or are you just looking for people to pat you on the back and say your idea is great? This whole funnel we've talked about, it's for the testers, not the approval seekers. And that, right there, is how you build things people will actually love and use.